Millionaire CEO caught his awkward assistant dancing in the storage room and fell madly in love. Today's story takes place in Texas, the stomping ground of someone out there watching this video right now. Yeehaw! Drop a comment below with the name of your hometown, where you're tuning in from. And that city could be the star of our next video's wild tale. So tell us your Texas spot, or wherever you're at, and let's see where this journey takes us next. Austin, Texas, where the sun scorches your skin like a giant BBQ pit, the air thick with the smell of grilled meat and spicy smoke drifting through the streets, and the glass towers of Lone Star Tech gleam with arrogance under a deep blue sky. Up on the 45th floor, Wyatt Y. Hayes lounges in a sleek black leather chair, his icy blue eyes, sharp as a winter gust, sweeping through the hill country plains, scanning his laptop screen. His sun-streaked brown hair is just messy enough to pass for a cowboy in a movie, and his pricey gray suit hugs his tall, broad frame. At 39, he's a tech mogul, cocky enough to act like all of Texas bows to his polished Italian leather shoes. In his hand, a steaming mug of black coffee, no sugar, no cream, just a bitter kick that hits like gunpowder, keeps him sharp during a Zoom call with sweaty investors from Cali. This quarter's revenue better blow the roof off, got it? Wyatt barks, his voice rumbling like thunder over the Big Bend desert, eyes locked on the flickering numbers daring him to blink. Then, as if the Texas heavens decided to pull a prank, the whole building shakes, lights flicker like a bad horror flick, and the Zoom screen goes black. "What the hell?" Wyatt yells, nearly dropping his coffee. A deafening boom echoes from the storage room, followed by a scream straight out of a cheap slasher movie. He bolts from the meeting room, shoes pounding the hardwood floor, and shoves open the storage room door, only to almost have a heart attack. Tess Morales, his clumsy assistant, is flailing around like she's possessed, earbuds glued to her head, belting out an off-key George Strait country tune loud enough to drown out the wind outside. Her oversized Tacos Forever t-shirt hangs loose. Her beat-up Converse sneakers are caked in red Texas dust, and her black hair's a tangled mess like a bull just ran her over. She twirls with flair, kicks the main power cord. Zap! Sparks fly, the fuse blows with a burnt stench, and old papers scatter like a sandstorm. Wyatt freezes, eyes wide, as if a UFO just landed in the pasture. "Morales, what the hell are you doing?" he roars, but before he finishes, Tess startles, trips, and crashes right into him. The scalding black coffee splashes over his gray suit, soaking through his shirt and burning his chest. "Ah!" Wyatt shouts as Tess topples him to the floor, papers raining down like a Texas summer storm. "I was just dancing a little, boss," Tess stammers, face red as a jalapeno, flailing to get up but tearing his sleeve even more. "Dancing? You just shorted out the whole damn building, you disaster!" Wyatt snaps, scrambling to his feet, coffee dripping sticky down his chest, the acrid smell of burnt wiring filling his nose. Right then, the Zoom speakers blare with the investors' laughter. They heard it all. "Wyatt, what a top-notch assistant!" a Cali guy hollers through the screen. Wyatt grits his teeth, ready to roar again when his phone buzzes like crazy. Jake, his loudmouth cowboy buddy, calls chuckling, "See that, Why? $10 million if you turn that klutz into your perfect girlfriend in 90 days. You in?" Wyatt glances at Tess. She's brushing dust off her t-shirt, hair a bird's nest, then smirks, eyes glinting like the sparks from that blown fuse. "Easy as eating, BBQ, pal. I'm in." He hangs up, turns back to Tess, wondering what kind of mess he's just stepped into. But beneath that cocky facade, a flicker of excitement sparks. This game might be more fun than he thought. Wyatt Y. Hayes stood in the middle of Austin's swankiest mall, the Texas sun streaming through the glass roof, making his Italian leather shoes gleam like mirrors. After yesterday's disaster, When Tess Morales turned the 45th floor of Lone Star Tech into a catastrophe flick with a power outage, he'd decided to train this klutz into the perfect girlfriend to win a $10 million bet with his buddy Jake. "You can't keep wearing that Tacos Forever t-shirt like some drifter," Wyatt growled, dragging Tess into a ritzy boutique where sparkly dresses hung like treasure. Tess, her black hair a mess like she'd run through a desert twister, shrugged. "I'm fine, boss. Don't overdo it." But Wyatt had already summoned a stylist crew, a frizzy-haired lady with scissors, a nerdy guy clutching a thick notebook, and an assistant hauling a box of 12-inch stilettos sharp as switchblades. They stuffed Tess into a silver-sequined gown so tight it looked like it might strangle her. She took 3 wobbly steps, heels clacking on the floor, then, bam! Crashed into the perfume counter, smashing a $500 Gucci bottle, the scent hitting like tear gas. "I'd rather grill BBQ in the desert than wear this crap," Tess yelled, rubbing her bruised knee as the dress tore from thigh to ankle. Wyatt pinched his temples, feeling like his Lone Star Tech empire was crumbling under her chaos. "You're a walking nightmare, Morales," he snapped, but a glint of amusement flickered in his blue eyes. The first real laugh he'd felt all week. Tess glared, brushing dust off her ripped Converse. "Thanks for the compliment, boss." Wyatt turned away, muttering, $10 million. Worth it, maybe." The company party by Lake Ladybird was pure Hollywood glam, with yacht lights bouncing off the water and the air thick with BBQ and Lone Star beer. Wyatt looped his arm through Tess's, playing perfect couple for the staff, and Jake, the cowboy sipping IPA in the corner, eyes darting like he was waiting for a show. Tess was shoved into a tight black dress, less flashy but still making her look out of place, while Wyatt rocked an Armani suit, hair slicked back, exuding power with a whiff of pricey cologne. 5 minutes in, disaster struck. Tess, hands shaky like she'd chugged Wyatt's coffee stash, dropped a tray of BBQ, brisket, golden sauce, mashed potatoes, right onto his chest. Sauce splattered everywhere, hitting the chubby director nearby, turning his ruddy face into a Jackson Pollock painting. The room went quiet for a beat, then erupted in laughter. Jake winked from afar. "Perfect girlfriend, why?" "Peak romance." Tess blushed, fumbling with the old t-shirt hidden under her dress to wipe her hands, mumbling, "My hands were slippery, blame the sauce." Wyatt's eyes blazed, but then, out of nowhere, he let out a rusty chuckle, like an old engine firing up. "You're a licensed disaster," he said, ignoring the sauce dripping down his shirt, oddly soothed by her mess. The fat director wiped his face, grumbling, "Where'd this nutcase come from?" Wyatt smirked, brushing it off, wondering why her clumsiness eased the pressure piling up on him. One gray Texas afternoon, Wyatt sat in the 45th floor meeting room, eyes glued to revenue reports, his coffee cold. A mouth-watering smell, melted cheese, toasted bread, wafted from the company kitchen, a place he never bothered with. Frowning, he stormed out and found Tess in the corner, holding a tray of BBQ sandwiches made from fridge leftovers. "What are you cooking, Morales?" Wyatt snapped, eyeing her like she might burn the place down. Tess shrugged, shoving a hot sandwich into his hands. "Eat it. Stop living like a robot, boss." The spicy brisket hit his nose, cheese stretching in golden strings. Wyatt scowled, inspecting it like a ticking bomb. "Is this edible?" He took a bite, chewing slowly, his blue eyes pausing as if analyzing. "Not bad," he muttered, keeping his cool, but his lip twitched, the day's first hint of a smile. Tess planted her hands on her hips, grinning. "Not bad, my ass. It's awesome, admit it." She beamed like a MasterChef champ, and Wyatt glanced at her, a strange spark in his eyes, curiosity, or something he wouldn't name. He turned away, sipping coffee to hide it, but the warm BBQ lingered in his mind all afternoon. A rainy Texas day hit, water slamming the 45th floor windows. Bored, Tess toyed with Wyatt's high-tech printer, the future of innovation, he'd bragged. She fed it wet paper from the hallway, pressed start. Zap! Black ink sprayed everywhere, the machine buzzing and smoking. "Oh, crap!" Tess yelped, tossing a rag at it, ink splattering the pristine walls. Wyatt bolted from a Zoom call, sleeves rolled up, face pale. "What the hell did you do to my printer?" He yanked the plug, his suit sleeve soaked in ink, the burnt stench rising like a busted BBQ grill. "You trying to bankrupt me, Morales?" he roared, but Tess giggled, wiping ink off her face. "Oops, slippery hands, boss." He glared, feeling his tech world collapse under her chaos, then sighed, muttering, "You're a Texas tornado." Tess winked. A cute one, right? Wyatt turned, hiding a second near laugh that week. Days later, Wyatt started noticing Tess more. From the 45th floor window, he saw her by the Colorado River in the rain, soaked t-shirt clinging to her, handing out sandwiches to homeless folks. She grinned brightly, hair plastered to her face, passing out food like Christmas gifts. Wyatt gripped his coffee tighter, wondering why he cared about the Tacos Forever shirt she'd left on his chair, something he'd usually toss without a thought. $10 million, he mumbled, but the bet with Jake faded, replaced by something he wasn't ready to name. The Austin rain fell dark and heavy, like a black velvet curtain, pounding the 45th floor windows of Lone Star Tech, the wind howling like wolves across the Texas plains. Wyatt Y. Hayes slumped in the meeting room, his gray suit rumpled after a grueling day wrestling reports, an empty cold mug of black coffee at his side. Tess Morales, the clumsy assistant who'd been driving him nuts, and something else he couldn't pin down, for the past month was fumbling at his desk outside, digging for files he'd demanded. "Hurry up, Morales, I don't have all night," Wyatt barked through the door, his voice hoarse with exhaustion. Tess shrugged, her oversized Tacos Forever t-shirt hanging loose, her beat-up Converse squeaking on the hardwood. "Chill, boss, I'll find it." She flipped open Wyatt's laptop to locate the report, but her ink-smeared fingers, still stained from the printer fiasco, slipped, clicking the inbox instead. An email from Jake, that loudmouth cowboy, popped up like a punch to the face. $10 million if Tess falls for you in 90 days, why? "Don't lose, pal." Tess froze, hands trembling as if she'd been zapped. The power surge she'd caused day one was nothing compared to this. She scrolled, eyes blurring at an older line. "That klutz? Ha ha ha, good luck." Her heart dropped like the BBQ tray she'd once dumped on Wyatt's chest. Everything, his raspy laughs at her spills, the reluctant sandwich praise, those odd looks by the Colorado River. Just a game? A $10 million bet? Wyatt shoved the meeting room door open, phone in hand, fresh off a call with an investor, and saw Tess standing there, pale, eyes red, pointing at the laptop. "What the hell is this, Hayes?" she rasped, voice cracking like she might cry, shoving the screen toward him. Wyatt glanced at it, and the coffee mug he'd just grabbed crashed to the floor, shattering, black liquid pooling like Texas blood. "Tess, he stammered, his cocky edge melting like cheese under the Austin sun for the first time. "I'm your puppet? A $10 million toy?" Tess screamed, tears spilling, fists pounding his chest. "You wrecked my life for a bet with that jerk? Go to hell, Hayes!" She snatched her tattered canvas bag and bolted out, vanishing into the white rain. Wyatt stood rooted, chest aching, not from her hits, but her eyes, raw with hurt and betrayal, something he'd never seen. "Tess!" he yelled, voice breaking, but she was gone in the downpour. He raced to the garage, leaped into his glossy black Ford F-150, and floored it through the Austin night, tires splashing water like a sandstorm. His head spun. The bet with Jake now felt like burnt trash. But why this panic? The money or her? Rain slammed the windshield, headlights slicing narrow alleys, until he spotted Tess huddled under the awning of an old BBQ joint near the Colorado River, her soaked t-shirt clinging, lips blue from cold, clutching her bag like it held her last shred of dignity. "Tess!" Wyatt jumped out, Italian shoes sinking in red mud, pulling her into his arms as she pounded his chest. "Let go, you bastard!" she wailed, voice frail, eyes blurred with rain and tears. Wyatt held her tight, rain soaking through his suit, chilling him. "Listen to me," he roared, dragging her into the truck, cranking the heat full blast. Tess shivered, turning away, whispering, "You lied. It was all fake." Wyatt slammed the steering wheel, solid as a Texas Longhorn. "Not all of it, Tess. I was an idiot, but it's not the bet anymore." She wouldn't look at him, tears streaking her dirt-smudged face. Back on the 45th floor, Wyatt wrapped Tess in a thick blanket from the break room, her wet hair plastered to her face. He fumbled in the company kitchen, trying to cook chicken soup in an old pot he'd never touched. Result? A charred mess, smoke billowing like that first fuse blowout. Tess woke on the sofa, seeing Wyatt beside her, holding the blackened pot, sheepish. "I burned half of it, but don't go, Tess." She glared, voice rough. "Get lost." Wyatt didn't budge, his blue eyes rare with honesty. "I screwed up. The bet. Everything. I don't want to lose you." Tess turned away, tears soaking the pillow. "You don't get it. You broke me twice, this time for real." Wyatt bowed his head, gripping the chair, knuckles white. "I don't expect forgiveness yet, but I'm not leaving." He set the pot down, walked out, his heavy footsteps echoing, leaving Tess with the rain tapping the glass and a sharp ache in her chest. The Austin rain had cleared, leaving a sky as deep blue as Wyatt Y. Hayes's eyes, though his old cockiness was gone. After the night Tess uncovered the bet, he stood outside Lone Star Tech, tossing the keys to an old truck painted Tess's BBQ Bites her way. Tess Morales, brown eyes tired, hair a mess under the Texas sun, picked them up, frowning. "What's this?" Wyatt shrugged, voice rough. "Your dream, not my game." Tess eyed him skeptically but climbed aboard. They drove around Austin, Tess grilling BBQ sandwiches in the cramped space, the spicy meat scent wafting through the streets. Wyatt, clumsy with a knife, dropped a tray of brisket. "Damn it!" Tess laughed, smacking his shoulder. "You're worse than me, Millionaire." Wyatt growled, "You're the disaster." But they chuckled, shoulder to shoulder, BBQ smoke weaving around them like an invisible bond. The company party returned to Lake Ladybird, lanterns twinkling, Lone Star beer thick in the air. Tess wore her old t-shirt, no more tight dresses, standing by Wyatt, now in a rolled-sleeve shirt, ditching the suit. Jake, the loudmouth cowboy drunk on IPA, shouted, "Why win the bet yet?" "Tess is the prize." The room went silent. Tess flushed and bolted, clutching matches like she'd torched the truck outside. Wyatt flung his coffee, punching Jake square in the face. "Thwack!" The guy crumpled, clutching his nose. "Shut up, asshole!" Wyatt roared, chasing Tess. He found her dousing the truck with gas, lighter trembling in the drizzle. "I'm not your game!" Tess sobbed, tears mixing with smoke. Wyatt lunged, bare hands snuffing the flame, burning himself, gas stinging his nose. "I love you, not the damn bet!" Tess shoved him, eyes red. "Prove it!" Rain poured harder. Tess slipped on the wet truck floor and Wyatt caught her, hands on her waist, blue eyes locking with brown. He kissed her fiercely, BBQ smoke blending with rain, holding her like she might vanish. "Just us," he whispered. Tess kissed back, tears falling, clinging to his shoulders. "You're crazy." They stood there, soaked, hearts pounding louder than the near fire. By the Colorado River, a Texas sunset gilded the water, dry grass and BBQ smoke from Tess's BBQ Bites drifting in the warm breeze. Wyatt, sans fancy suit, Wore a flannel shirt, hair tousled like he'd run through hill country. Tess, Tacos Forever t-shirt sauce-stained, wiped her hands on an apron, brown eyes sparkling. After 90 days since that fateful blackout, they'd turned the truck into a small chain, giving free sandwiches to Austin's homeless. Wyatt knelt, holding a simple silver ring, voice raspy. "Marry me, Tess." Tess shook her head, laughing. "Not yet, you cocky jerk. Learn to grill first." Wyatt smirked, pocketing the ring. "You're a stubborn one." They didn't split. Wyatt sold his penthouse, moving into a small wooden house by the river with Tess and Ellie, an orphan he adopted after Tess taught him kindness. The truck chain glowed nightly, Wyatt grilling sandwiches, still burning them black. "You wrecked my life good," he hugged Tess, Ellie dozing on his shoulder. Tess pinched him, grinning. "And made it tastier, right?" Jake, now reformed, funded another truck, yelling, "Lost the bet, won at life, why?" Under the Texas sky, no rain, just golden sun and BBQ smoke, Wyatt felt true peace for the first time. Team Wyatt or Tess? Comment below. Who wants Wyatt to stop torching the kitchen? Hit like if you love this ending, and don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell for more Texas love stories, free as Tess's sandwiches.